Hello everyone. Today I am going to deal with dynamics of relationship in supply chain, where we'll be dealing about the various types of specifications in e-resource. E-source. Hello everyone. Today I am going to deal with dynamics of relationships in supply chain, where I will be dealing with e-sourcing and the different types of specifications. First, e-sourcing. Once the tender is complete, a buyer may decide to enter into an e-auction with the several shortlisted bidders. This only applies to suitable quadrants of Kralzik model, generally to products and services that sits within the routine or leverage categories. There are various types of e-auctions, the most popular being a reverse auction. The auction can be used by a buyer to drive further cost savings for like negotiations, contract management, negotiations with the supplier often follow the tender process. Contract management, where procurement can add value by actively managing the contracts once they have been awarded. That's what contract management is much more important after the negotiations process. Then improving quality. So quality is another area where the buyer adds significant value to the organization, whether they fit for the purpose, whether the product or services meets their specifications or not. Those all on the basis of that, the quality and the standards are being checked. Then what are the types of specifications? The types of specifications are conformance and performance specifications, where it can have the various advantages and disadvantages. The advantages of conformance is a specification and is easy for the suppliers to understand and enables the buyer to for the detailed technical information. Disadvantage, it limits for the suppliers freedom to innovate. There's this performance specification, it's easy to draft, which may be relevant if the buyer has the little knowledge of the product. Disadvantage of the performance specification is the burden is placed on the suppliers. Now, coming on to the link between the organization and the supply chain. Now, there should be a link between the organization and the supply chain network. Due to the link between the organization, the company's value chain does not exist isolations. As a result of this, the value adding activities continue beyond what we call as borders of the organization. That is why the value network is much more important for an organization. Because of these interconnections, we are able to manage the links between the company with other intermediaries, right? These supply chain linkages are developed when the relationships are built between the buyers and the suppliers. That is why supply network is much more important to manage a successful contract. Now, why? Because developing a relationship with the supplier is a process. It says supply chain management. Without supply chain management, you cannot build a network. You should have a proper network with the suppliers, right? Then the link between the network or the supply chain also includes the concepts such as lean production, where a number of theories have been given. For example, agile is another process that requires a strong link between the buyer and the supplier. It was developed in the response to external pressures for volatile markets and short product life cycles, which requires businesses to bring a new product to the marketplace faster than ever before, as in the case with the other concepts such as SCM, which is supply chain network, and the lean. Close buyers and suppliers relationships are much more important of the cooperation, which will lead for your successful management of the contract and successful implementation of the contract. Thank you.